All right. Hi, Catherine. Thank you for joining me today. Today we're going to do an assessment on your daughter Desiree. She's 19, correct?
Yes. Okay.
And this is going to be, it's over the Vineland 2. It's a test on adaptive behavior skills. And adaptive behavior is just the day-to-day activities that are necessary for individuals to get along with others and to take care of themselves. These activities change as a person gets older, and at every age, certain skills are required at home, at school, in the community. And this, we're going to go over 3 different domains of adaptive behavior. The 3 different domains are communication, such as reading, writing, just talking, and daily living skills, such as taking care of herself, her ability to take care of herself, eating, feeding, all those types of things, showering. And then we're also going to go over some socialization, just her ability, her leisure time, ability to get along with others, some types of those questions. And with this test, there's no right or wrong answers. Just want to be able to know what the individual actually does, not what they might be capable of doing. So there's no wrong answers to the questions I'm going to ask you. Just that if the individual doesn't do it or you don't know, just let me know, and just say you don't know. And typically the Vineland is used for people with a disability or a disorder to be able to, that needs intervention services such as special education and rehabilitation, and just to design a treatment plan. And so with that, we'll get started on the first section. Is going to be a communication, and I'm just going to be scoring as we go and asking pretty broad, hopefully some broad questions about Desiree's communication. And with that, we're going to start with expressive communication. So is Desiree able to talk fluently, carry on a conversation with others, and such as those kind of things?
Yes.
Does she know her complete home address? Be able to say the whole thing?
Yes.
Is she able to, does she, can she read and write fluently?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. And does she have goals that she describes to you?
Yes.
In short and long term?
Yep.
Okay. And then also, is she able to write fluently, read? Does she read at like a high school level?
College level.
Does she read any newspaper articles weekly? No. Does she ever write business letters? I guess in the sense maybe like probably stuff for school. Does she write letters for school at all that you know of?
Emails to teachers.
Mm-hmm. That would, yeah. Is she able to correct her own essays, written works?
In class, they do correct their own.
Okay. And now we're going to move on to the daily living skills. Does she take care of herself as far as like bathing, showering? She does all that on her own?
Yes.
Does she actually make her own appointments for medical and dental checkups, or do you do those for her? You do those for her?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then is she able to keep track of medications like on her own, or does she need like reminders? Is that like a sometimes thing?
She takes what she needs.
Mm-hmm. She takes it as directed.
Yes.
Okay. Now we're going to go into some other skills. Is she able to use any tools such as a nail, screwdriver?
Yes.
And she's able to take care. Did she help you take care of the house?
Yes.
Does she do any chores?
She does all the chores: cleaning, vacuuming, her own laundry.
And does she use household products correctly, such as the different sprays? She knows which ones to use.
Yes.
Is she able to cook?
A little. She can do pasta and bake.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's see. And should she wash her own clothes, do her own laundry?
Yes. Does her own laundry.
And does she plan and prepare the main meal of the day?
No.
All right. Some other skills we're gonna go over is just some of the stuff in the community. When she's out shopping, is Is she able to evaluate quality and price of different items on her own without your help?
Yes.
And she's able to drive to like the library, to different places that are more than 10 miles away.
Yes.
And she's able to, does she take care of her own money as far as using a checking account on her own?
Yes.
Has held, does she work currently?
Yes.
And she's held a full-time job for 1 year. Is that probably
part-time with college?
Part-time with college. Does she budget at all for monthly expenses?
Yes.
Okay. And does she have a credit card?
Yes.
Or debit? Okay. And then these are going to go over some socialization skills. Does she have friends, meet with them regularly, able to start a conversation on her own?
She hangs out with cousins and friends.
And she doesn't say mean things or rude things in public randomly?
No.
And she is careful when talking about others, about personal things. She doesn't. Does she ever seem to cross boundaries when speaking?
No.
Does she seem to understand nonverbal communication, such as yawning and quick changes of subjects? And is she able to follow you in conversation and understand those cues?
Yes.
Does she go on? Does she go on group dates?
No.
Or no single dates? Okay. Does she show good sportsmanship in playing games?
Yes.
And does she play with board games, card games? Is she able to play different, Monopoly on her own and with her friends?
Yes.
And she is able to follow all the rules of the games?
Yes.
Does she go places with friends during the day without adult supervision?
Yes.
And does she plan her own activities to do with her friends?
Yes.
And does she tell you when she's making plans and when she's going to leave? And does she seem to avoid dangerous activities or hurting others' feelings?
Yes.
Does she follow through with arrangements she makes, such as meeting people, like different schedules and stuff like that?
Yes.
And she stays away from, does she stay away from relationships or situations that are hurtful?
Yes.
Does she seem to keep secrets or confidences?
Yes.
Does she seem to show respect for people she works with and her friends?
Yes.
And she seems to be aware of potential dangerous situations and risky situations. Is she cautionary of individual?
Yes.
All right. That is it. We're actually done. And with that being said, the information we'll gather from this assessment will be used. We'll let you know what her scores are, and typically they would be used for educational purposes or for getting someone's services, but in her case, she's a highly functioning individual. And thank you for taking this time to do this interview with me.